Hey folks, last night was the final two on Season 9 of American Idol. Crystal Bowersox and Dewyze, the best and brightest talent that America has to offer, competing for the title. I'm still pretty unsure about who I think is going to win, and I'm even more unsure about the success that they're going to have when the show's over. Now, that's not to say that I don't think they're both talented, but despite what Dioguardi says, I don't think they're very commercial. I think they're going to have a really hard time when the show is over because their CDs don't come out until like November. But, if they really work hard and commit themselves, I think maybe they'll get lucky. Maybe they could get lucky, possibly, and land a spot opening for Taylor Hicks on his nationwide Walmart parking lot tour. Sadly, my crystal ball tells me that that's about best case scenario for them, and even more sadly, the whole Taylor Hicks Walmart thing was not a joke. He actually did embark on a Walmart tour. Anyway, I've personally enjoyed the season, watching this season, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be a very exciting finale, and it's going to be tough for them to overcome the bad press that this season has gotten. Simon and Randy have both taken to the talk shows and predicted that Dewyze will be the winner, but of course they did the same thing last season for Adam Lambert, and we all remember how that turned out. The show started with Crystal and Lee walking through the crowd to the stage at the Nokia Theater. Lee didn't seem as excited as Crystal. He seemed a little bit like he had no personality, like he was Dewyze, I guess. Crystal seemed very excited. She acted like she was the next contestant on The Price is Right the way she went through that crowd. She dropped the microphone and she was just very giddy. Anyway, Crystal won the coin toss, so she decided to go last. So Dewyze was first singing The Boxer. It was Lee's favorite performance from the week in the top 7. Now, this part of the final two is usually the part where they can have contestants' choice, and sometimes they recycle songs, but it isn't usually a requirement. But I guess it was a requirement this time around. I don't really I personally would rather see something new. We've already seen this performance. We don't want to see it again. You did it once, you did it well, now let's just move on. It's kind of like watching a rerun of your favorite TV show. You might enjoy it the second time around, but you already know what's going to happen, and so it's never quite as good as it was the first time. I thought he did just as well the second time around, but was I the only one with my eyes in his mouth the whole time? Well, not literally. My eyeballs weren't literally in his mouth, but he had so much spit. His mouth was just so full of spit. I just wanted to get him a glass of water. Randy said, "Come on, man, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Get some more energy going." Ellen said, "I couldn't be prouder if I birthed you myself." Kara wanted him to punch harder, and Simon said it was a kiss on the cheek when he wanted a kiss on the lips. Next was Crystal, recycling Me and Bobby McGee. I actually thought this one was a little bit better the second time around. The first time she did it, it kind of felt like she was holding back a little bit, and she didn't hold back any on this time around. I can't even talk tonight. I felt like Crystal was actually trying to win, though, so I thought round 1 went to Crystal Bowersox, for me anyway. Randy said, "I thought it was dope, dude." Ellen thought it was stunning. Kara said, "You have fire in your belly tonight." Fire in the belly? Maybe I need to give her a glass of water, too. That sounds rather painful. Simon said, We've got a competition going tonight. Like Simon's going to say, "We got a competition going tonight," like I would say. Next was Lee singing Everybody Hurts. It was the producer's pick. In theory, this song should have been perfect for Dewyze. Randy would have called the original version by R.E.M. pitchy, and it was, but it's one of those rare songs that its imperfections actually make it perfect. So even if Lee was off-key, as he usually is and was, I think that actually worked in his favor for this song. There were a couple of times when I thought he added a few dynamics that he could have left out, and I thought the full choir was completely unnecessary, and I would have preferred a bit of a softer version. I thought he took it a little bit too big for my liking, but I still thought it was pretty good. Randy said, "I could feel that Lee that I love." Ellen thought that he pulled back. Kara said it wasn't a perfect vocal, but I love that about you. What she likes it when he doesn't sing well. Simon thought he was nervous. Next was Crystal Bowersox singing the producer's choice, Black Velvet. I thought it was a pretty lame song choice by the producer. This song must be dirt cheap for them to use because we see an abundance of it every season at the auditions, and people only sing it to show off big vocals. Nobody sings it because it's a good song. The song is a very, very tired song, really. But I guess they wanted a big song for Crystal to show off her big voice. I liked the first half, except when she almost forgot her words. How'd she do that? They had this great big old teleprompter. Did you all see that teleprompter, like at a karaoke bar? You could see it when Dewyze was singing The Boxer. I don't know if I ever saw it again, but we saw it last year. I guess since they're singing 3 songs and they're singing a relatively new song that they don't know, they get a teleprompter so they don't forget the words. But I thought Crystal was actually going to fall down the steps, though, and it may have actually worked in her favor if she had. I would have thrown myself down the steps, actually. and came back out for the final performance in a wheelchair. I wouldn't be too proud to try to work for the pity votes. You got to pull out all the stops. I thought the last half was a complete screaming mess. I didn't like the last half at all. So I thought, for me, round 2 goes to Dewyze. Randy said, Mama Sox is in it to win it. Ellen said the costume changes were like a Cher concert, and she gave Crystal a standing O. Kara said, tonight is the night to kill yourself on stage. Well, I didn't think it was Crystal's best performance, but suicide isn't the answer. Simon said he's almost allergic to that song, but he thought she nailed it. Next was Dewyze for his final performance of the night, singing Beautiful Day by U2, which will be his single if he wins. I think it's stupid how they say that it's going to be their single if they win. Both of them are going to have a studio version of the song for sale, so isn't it going to be their singles regardless? I thought it was a head-scratcher that they allowed them to choose their own cover song to be their first single. They didn't get an original song. That doesn't make any sense to me. This season is so strange. I thought this was the worst performance of the night. Lee sounded like a complete mess. He sounded terrible. And I don't know if Lee just likes to have a lot of people on stage with him or what, but instead of a choir, it was a bunch of people playing violins, and it was just too much. According to TMZ during the dress rehearsal, when Lee was finishing with the song, a violinist, is that how you say it? A violinist? Accidentally hit his body with the bow, and Lee was upset and walked off stage even before the pretend judges could weigh in. Well, that's what happens when you bring 100 people on stage with you. Eventually people are going to start running into each other. That's so very diva of him, though, to storm off stage before the judges can even talk. I hear Christina Aguilera is going to be on the finale tonight, so maybe they'll do a duet together and they can both act like spoiled brats together. Randy said, good on you, baby, good on you. Ellen is proud of him. Kara thinks he got swallowed up in the song, and Simon thinks the show was created for paint shop employees. And last was Crystal Bowersox. She chose Up to the Mountain by Patty Griffin. I thought vocally this was Crystal's best performance ever. It was perfection, so I liked it. But as a single, I don't know where it fits. I don't think I ever expect to hear it on the radio. If she wins, that is. Also, according to TMZ, when she was singing that song during rehearsals, she forgot the lyrics and started over mid-song. Like I said, how is she forgetting the lyrics with that big old teleprompter? Maybe she's not looking at it. Because it kind of felt like Lee was looking at it when he was singing, and it didn't feel like she was. So anyway, round 2 goes to Crystal Bowersox by a landslide. Randy said this is one of your greatest performances at the perfect time. Ellen thinks she's in a league of her own, and Ellen wants to eat Crystal's salad. Kara said, amazing. And Simon's final critique on the show, he said it was outstanding. Last was the original Idol from Papa Idol, Will Young, singing Leave Right Now to clips from the season. I thought he was pretty good, but I kind of prefer the shortened down version of the song. So anyway, who do you all think is going to win? I think based on last night's performances, Crystal Bowersox should win. Actually, based on the entire season, I think Crystal should win. Even though I haven't liked a lot of her song choices, I think she's been consistently the better singer, and I think she'd make a more interesting winner. One like we've never had before. I mean, we've already had a white guitar boy like the last 2 seasons. And I believe, though, that Lee probably will win. According to dialidol.com, it's going to Lee, but I don't put much stock into that because they've been wrong before, and they're pretty consistently wrong. I don't think they got it right last season. I don't know why I even check it anymore, but it's just like a bad habit. Anyway, I think a lot of people think that Lee should win because he's improved. What does improving have to do with it? I had a broken toe that's improved, but that doesn't mean it's any better than my toes that were never broken in the first place. That would be like giving an employee who's been layabout all year Employee of the Year because they're not quite as lazy as they were at the beginning of the year. And when you have an outstanding employee, just completely overlooking them. Isn't that strange? The past 2 seasons, we've had the white boy with a guitar. Ever since they started allowing instruments, that's what the winner's been, a white boy with a guitar. Now, I'm not saying David Cook didn't deserve to win or Chris Allen didn't deserve to win, but I don't think Lee is on their level. Lee Dewyze is like David Cook ultralight. So, and Crystal, she is the first female to make it to the finale since season 6. And I think the show is becoming more and more difficult for a woman to win. But anyway, I would rather see Crystal win, but I think Lee is probably going to win. But who knows? Anyway, I'll see you folks tomorrow night.